Good evening, everybody. As promised, I am live tonight to provide evidence that I have paid what I owed. You know, how is everybody tonight? I want to express my sincere gratitude for everyone's help. And as a result, I was able to have a $236 credit for next month. And this website, it's pretty plain Jane. It doesn't do much. It doesn't even show the payment so much as it does just that the payment was made. It was my decision to put all of it towards my rent because that's basically what I was asking help for. That was what I was used to my husband's check going to, actually. Among other things. But I've scrimped and saved and managed for everything else so far. And I wanted to thank everybody again for their help. I am given to understand that a call to action has been issued by none other than a happy hippie. So, she was on her TruthnTales account, spreading her usual crap. Major issues, silver diamond. But guess what? TruthnTales, a happy hippie, can come up here and put her money where her mouth is. Of course, she won't. She'll claim she didn't know I was live, I'm sure. You like my title? Because every year's lease is on there. Dude, I've lived here since 2018. I don't know. Anyway, people are assholes. This entire notion that I've ever shamed anybody for being in need of actual help, and that's being in need, not being in want. I've never shamed anybody for being in need. I mean, Andrew's been in need more than once in the past several years, and I've never judged him for that. I know he's had to struggle. So, this idea that I judge people for having less or not having any money, or no, never. I judge entitled little shitbags in want. But other than that, hello, Steph. Freeside Canal. Who do we have in here? We've got Silver Diamond, followed by Pat S., then Sugar Kretz. We have Adam, followed by Dave Peterson, Jessica S. Hey, boss bitch. How are you? Freeside Canal. I'm always going to call you Canal. Coward that won't come up under their own name. Larry Miller. I know what's up, and people that know me knows what's up. Nope. Public occultist. Creole. You know what? I think I have decided that if you are going to come in here and say those things to me, you should have to do so under your own name. Do it under your name, not under a sock. Come up here and say it. Because the truth is, I haven't bought any of that since first of the year. I'll answer what you want to say, but you're going to have to say it under your name. Well, I'm not. I can't even think about that. There's a lot of things I can't even think about. To me, those are like kids' toys and nerd collectibles. And it's not only that, you can find out a lot of ways that you can eat without necessarily buying meat when you're trying to save money. Even that. It's it's just crazy. Mini brands, Bubba. But apparently, Miss Truth and Tales and another dirty liar with poor fucking hygiene. See, apparently, a happy hippie takes exception to what I was talking about last night. Who goes real life about assistance, but now wants special privileges herself, years before they are due? Whose adult son does not want to move to a more affordable place? He does get his own monthly benefits from the government. Yes, many of us live in a one income family with more than two people in the home, and we all find a way. Get a second job if need be. Adjust to the income, downsize, support yourself like the rest of us you do. You'll do just fine. I don't know what others do about karma, but damn girl, you went too far. First and foremost, I've never went real life about anyone's assistance, period. I have stated more than once and promised more than once that I would not touch Connie / rebel / little vagrant weed weasel in any sort of way, that I would not call his landlord, that I would not call Section 8, that I would not call the police, that I would not call the court, that I would not call his lawyer, that I would not call the ride share service. I didn't do any of that. I haven't, and I want. God, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I've hardly had time to give a tap dancing fuck about Connie. So she's not done, though, folks. She's not done. Down here, she says, I sure hope no one goes real life on Elizabeth Ellen. She owns that name by calling the SSI office in Texas. Imagine if they send a screenshot of her being irked someone's mother is still breathing at 68. Oh my, not a good look to try and collect SSI years early. And then she put the date of my appointment at 2/22/24. Yeah. When I conspired to give birth to an autistic child. But see, she's not done. She's not done insisting between age 60 and full retirement age as a survivor. I believe I went through this last night, a happy hippie / truth and tales. You dirty, mean spirited, dreadlocked, nasty haired old broad.
Hey, cut her some slack between the insane amount of weeds, the birds living in her hair, what I can only assume is syphilis eating away at her brain. She doesn't think too hard.
So she's issuing a fucking call to action. What she posted was just a snippet of who qualifies for widow's benefits.
He's like, how well versed does
She's
she think she is with this? She's not even in this country. Like, hippie, fuck off. Go back to your own country and deal with shit up there. Go talk about your emperor's new socks and mind your own goddamn business.
So this is what you do when you go. Let's see.
By the way, thanks for having me up, Liz. Glad to be here.
You're welcome. So here's the money shot, you bitchy, dirty hippie. My husband, that's his money. He paid for 50 years into this. He worked his ass off. And this money isn't really for me. It's for my son to cover his living expenses. And he's entitled to them. My husband raised him. Because you didn't include all of it. You mean-spirited old biddy. Did ya?
No, she's just way too worried about being up in other people's asses because she's still got her nose stuck up Rebel's fucking taint.
Yeah, well. I'm just.
Yeah, I know. It's difficult, but she's stomping around barefoot in a fucking compost pile. You're living in an actual home with people who love you, so I wouldn't worry too much about what she has to say.
So we go here. You didn't read it all. You wanted to provide the receipts. You wanted to provide the facts. Why didn't you provide all of them? And why don't you come up here and put your mouth where your words are? Woman up, panel up. You're so, grr, I am woman. Hear me roar. That you side with a known liar just because she said he raped her. Fuck you, you dumb old lady. Who receives benefits? Certain family members may be eligible to receive monthly benefits, including and surviving spouse, age 60 or older, or age 50 or older if they have a disability. Surviving divorced spouse under certain circumstances doesn't apply here. Surviving spouse at any age who is caring for the deceased child who is under age 16 or has a disability and receiving child's benefits, or unmarried child, and the federal government does look upon the relationship between stepchild and step-parent much the same as they do adoptive. Unmarried child of the deceased who is one of the following: younger than 18 or up to age 19 if they are a full-time student in an elementary or secondary school, or age 18 or older with a disability that began before age 22. So this money isn't even for me, a happy hippie. This is for my son, my autistic son. So before you get all hot and bothered about what you do not know and what you don't understand and what you don't seem to care to understand, because you won't come up here and woman the fuck up and talk to me, because we could come up here, you could come up here, we could have a conversation. We could, but you won't. It's much too safe to hide on Truth and Tales and spew your fucking shit.
I mean, just the gall of this bitch to tell you to get a second job when she continually simps for a dude that's had a job for all of about 2 months in his entire life and begs every day for weed and cigarettes. Get fucked, you old bitch.
One of her lackeys come in here asking me if I bought weed with my rent money. No.
No,
You
you're
know,
an adult. When you don't have money,
not
you
only
don't
that,
waste money.
not only that, when you don't screw over your friends and stuff, they're willing to give you stuff. Duh.
Yep. I have no issue with helping out people who are in need when they are in need. I won't feed a fucking stray though.
Yeah. See, there's a difference between being in need and being in want. Being the risk of having to scramble to downsize and send my son to live with his grandparents temporarily while we figure this out just didn't appeal to me. It just
but
didn't.
You should to make some nosy busybody bitch on YouTube happy. You should totally fucking do that.
You know, right. You know, if she doesn't think I've already thought about all the myriad of ways to save money and haven't applied them. I mean, one of the first things I did was cut off cable television. Oh, same tonight. I don't need anything now. I don't. Everybody was really generous to me yesterday, and I was able to get what I needed. So, I just, ugh.
I get it. It's okay to be pissed.
That's okay. You know, look, I've never looked down on Ace and Andrew for the things that they've needed. Ever. Nope. I've never said a word about it. You've never seen me in chat going, you didn't spend that on a generator. Never seen me say that to them. No fucking way.
Andrew's always shown what he got for it, too.
Sure.
And Andrew's always been very clear between I need and I would like. He never came live and said, everybody, if you could just give me a boat so me and Ace could go out, like, I need it. No, he said, I'd love to have a good time. And if you feel generous, that's great. If not, I understand. That's totally different than when his power was out and he needed a generator and he came out and said he needed it. Unlike the people that sit here day in and day out and go, I need weed, give me weed, and then attack you for it.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just... And even still, I never went real life on that kid's assistance.
Hippie still bent the fuck out of shape because you, in anger and pain and hurting for the loss of your husband, wondered how somebody like Ellen could live 68 years and apparently be hale and healthy enough to be ripping off not only the system, but encouraging her goddamn demon spawn to rip off everybody in the community. But your dear husband succumbed and passed away. And she's still salty about that shit. You know, she better hope I don't ever lose anybody because that is 1000% tame compared to this shit I would say around here.
And I mean, I did send Andrew copies of the screenshots of the mini orders I purchased. So he has the receipts there. You know, some asshole came in here and said, well, your lease said something else. You know, what they don't know is if they scroll down that page, they're going to see leases for 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. Then that's none of their fucking business.
Liz, these people are stupid. I'm amazed they could read the form.
I know.
Well, here's the thing. If you donated to this, then you have some skin in the game and you have the right to ask questions about it and want to know where your money's going. If you didn't donate to it, then fuck off.
I've made every effort to be as transparent about this as I possibly can. I took everything and put it towards that. So, whatever. And it's just, I don't know. I, the past month has taught me a lot about the true meaning of friendship. It really has. AC was the first one to come to me and ask me if I was going to need help in that way. And I told him, I don't know yet. I hope not. But he's the one who came to me first. I hadn't even breathed a word about it. For all that these people get their shit for fuck shit on the internet, they have shown me to be very compassionate. But it's just me.
There's a difference between talking shit and being a decent person behind it all and just being a horrible person that just talks shit and never shows any decency. And I agree with Heidi McKay. Hippie has found her home. You should go over there and hang out with the salty, hate cesspit people that go live every night just to scream and rant and yell about everybody else on YouTube and talk about how awesome they are and how awful everyone else is. Fucking go. Those are your people. Go over there and spread some of your peace and love, you rat-haired bitch.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll come out and say it, and if I offend anybody else, I'm sorry, but dreadlocks on white people look dumb as fuck. Stop doing it. Wash your goddamn hair and stop looking like the bag lady from the end of fucking Labyrinth.
And that's the thing I've always said. Help infers that at some point you're not going to need it anymore. And no, especially the people that I've come to call my friends, my relationship with them goes back years. I could never do that to them. I could never take advantage of them. And I could never take their money unless I didn't have any other way. But yeah, somebody answered my question though. They said both of them are cockroaches.
Yeah. Look, you came proper. You came and said, I've exhausted all my other possible revenue streams. This is what I need. This is what I need it for. And this is all I'm going to use it on. And you showed receipts. If you have to do it, that's how you do it. You don't just throw out an open-ended thing and be like, just keep giving me money until I tell you to stop. And then if I don't get this number that's in my head, I'll just go and spend it on something else anyway. That's why people don't donate to other people. You can only grift on fixing your car so many times before it turns out you just spent it all on weed. I know you paid the rent. You're still living in the house.
Yeah. Shut. I tried call that office 3 times. I was like, hello. That's the difference between help and doing it for you forever. I agree with that. 2 words, ball lightning. Do you really think I would have had chosen any other way? I would have chosen to keep my head held up high. I really would have.
Look, there's no shame in asking for help from friends when you need it.
I
It's got to
know
be.
that.
It's got to be when you need it. There's no reason to not hold your head high. Like I said, you came proper about it. Don't shame yourself over it. It's not worth it.
I know. But you see, I think I've always thought, stuff like with Ace and Andrew and their rent and the generator and all that, I've always thought that was what the money was really for at its very best to begin with, helping people who really needed it. More than one channel owner took money from their YouTube money and gave it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, and at some point I'm going to have to pay it forward a lot more than I have. There have been a couple of people that, I've helped out in small ways for a bind, but I'm not going to forget what people have done for me here.
Yeah. Mr. Cheese is not incorrect.
But Ace is right. No matter what receipt you show, people will always turn it to something else.
Yeah, I've said for a long time, this is one of the most generous communities I've ever been in when it's valid. But we've gotten really sensitive to scamming and grifting because so many people have done it. So people thought the money had dried up. It hasn't. It's just being held for when people need it, not when people just want it.
Yeah. I mean, you got some kids screaming every day they need weed. Okay.
We got other people hope, oh, if somebody could just help me pay my phone bill would be good. If you could help me pay my phone bill, that'd be great. Like we can sniff them out now. Some sniff them out better than others, but we can sniff them out now.
It's funny. My son is both more and less a picky eater than my husband was. But on the whole, it's a less expensive eater.
Oh my God. Fucking Beetlejuice. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And you know what? If I was talking about y'all doing this for me forever, I'd have you tell me to fuck right off and eat the entire fucking bag. Oh my God. Do you know, as hard as I fought to once again be a part of the working world, corrosive,
Yeah.
these people will never know. They will never know. You know, I remember about a year ago, you and I had a conversation, and I said, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. You know, what sucks is it's been hard for me to even truly get down to the nitty gritty part of mourning because I've been so worried about all this practical shit. You kind of put your emotions on hold.
Yeah. Yeah. You run in crisis mode for a long time, and that isolates things until you have time to slow down and really process it. And I don't envy you having to go through that.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not surprised she didn't come up here.
Oh, of
You
course
know,
not.
it's
She'll
just
do
like,
2 community posts and maybe a video on a 3rd channel somewhere, and but she'll never come up and argue about it. She'll never come up and, like, step to you and say anything and maybe hash it out.
I always try. You know, in a funny way, I was trying to help Connie on this channel. You know, I wanted to tell him that not everything was lost because he wasn't getting these donations. That, you know, he could apply for assistance and have something to point to that he didn't have to beg and scream for. You know, I've always thought he should apply for it. So I don't know where people get the idea that I'm anti him getting benefits or anti him being on assistance, or I want to fuck with him in that way.
According to Connie a minute ago, saying thank you and showing receipts are signs of scamming. Jesus Christ. Connie, stick both your thumbs up your ass and walk on your elbows. Nobody cares. The gravy train has come to an end. Get a fucking job or get on assistance or just, stop smoking and smoking weed, which are luxuries anyway.
And
You could
this
live
is,
well within your fucking means if you weren't spending $200 a week on smoke.
yeah, according to Connie a minute ago, saying thank you and showing receipts are signs of scamming. Says the person who has never said a heartfelt thank you or showed any receipts. Thank yous from Connie are always something that he has to grit his teeth through because he thinks it makes him look weak. Well, you know what? I'm feeling pretty weak. My beloved husband of 23 years and my best friend passed away unexpectedly out of the blue, and I lost all of his income along with it. So, yeah, I'm feeling a little weak. And when people gave me a hand, hell yeah, I'm going to thank them.
I apologize. I'm only paying half attention to you. I'm trying to look at two things at once.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do. But, before you talk about what you don't know about, maybe you should read it all.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it takes a particularly twisted brain to see you talking about trying to get the benefits that you're owed and it just taking a while because the wheels of bureaucracy turn slow and twist that into somehow trying to rip it off. I don't understand that. Unless you were I don't know how the hell she got that out of that other than the whatever's living in her hair is burrowed into her brain or she's burned out the last of her synapses with her excessive drug use. Allegedly.
Oh, you got to be kidding.
Oh, well, no, but he's shown us the proper way to grieve. First, you lock yourself in the house and then you refuse to fucking pay the rent or move. And then every time somebody shows up to do something about it, you call the police. Then you move into a car and then you lie about your mother having a brain aneurysm. And then you attack everyone who gave you money and stopped or won't give you money again. That's the proper way to grieve. Right, Rebel? You little fuck.
Wow.
Look, this is the same problem I have with somebody else who went off on this whole, well, if somebody died, you wouldn't see me anywhere around here. Some of us are actual friends on here. Some of us have known each other for years. We know what each other's kids look like. We get updates on the grandkids' fucking ballet recitals and shit. Not
yeah. How
publicly,
many
not on
pictures
YouTube.
of my grandchild are in your DMs?
Oh my God. Not publicly, because we know what you fucksticks do with shit like that, but privately we talk. We know a lot about each other's lives. We keep each other updated on what's going on because we're friends. So when something bad happens or when something good happens, we go talk to each other about it. We associate, we hang out in voice chats, we talk because shared joy is multiplied and shared pain is lessened. That's how it works. Saying, yeah, nobody on YouTube's real. Get the fuck off YouTube if you're having real life problems. These people are very real. Some of them are just socks that should literally be stuck to a wall and left there. But some of us do know each other's lives and we do care about each other. And we do feel for each other's losses and joys. So stop being a horrible, isolated, cold piece of shit about it and just accept that just because you don't have any friends on here doesn't mean other people don't.
Yeah.
No shit. If Mr. 6'9" died tomorrow, you wouldn't be on YouTube, bitch. He's paying for your cell phone.
Yeah, I wish I could share pics, but that's a hell no. Yeah.
Yep.
My granddaughter is an absolute stunner. I wish I could show her off.
Oh my God, she's one of the cutest children on the planet.
I think she is too.
Not quite as cute as mine, but I'm biased.
Mm.
And she's going to be famous someday. You're going to read about that girl on Broadway or in an opera somewhere. I'm telling you.
She's already aspiring big. She's got big. She wants to try all the hard stuff.
That's how you learn. I'll take that over sour grapes any day.
Yeah. I just, and she loved my husband. There were times she would just pass me right up. Granddad will build me a fort. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, don't worry about these fucking negs. They just exist here to be negative and to hate and to find something that they can dig their weird little talons into and try and suck or inject more pain and more anguish into it rather than just taking Thumper's advice. And if you can't say something nice, shut the fuck up.
In the meantime, some shampoo might work.
Yeah, I don't know. They may be too far gone. It may be time to shave that bitch down like she's going through delousing. Get out,
Oh my God.
get out the fucking sheep trimmers and just take that shit off. Check back in a year, G.I. Jane, when it grows in. I'm like
Oh my God.
fucking Canadian Sinead stomping in the goddamn compost pile. Hippie.
Holy shit. Oh.
I mean, fuck her. Like, look, you know when somebody has to make an alternate channel and an alternate account to say nasty shit
And then
because they're ashamed
respond
of what
on
they're
it with their
fucking
regular
saying.
account.
Well, it means they're ashamed of what they're saying. When I say shit, I say it on my channel with my chest because I fucking mean it and I'll stand behind it. I'm not making a separate account so I can try and be sneaky and be nasty behind it. If I'm going to be nasty, I'm going to do it here with me, not
I kind
faking
of
it.
want you to know it's me. AC and Brett, they always say that. I want you to know it's me.
Michelle, it's Happy Hippie being a douche nozzle on her fucking backup channel. Just being all negative and trying to incite people to go real life and call Social Security and tattle on Liz and tell Social Security that Liz said something mean about Connie's mother once.
Oh, yeah. They're going to deny me an appointment to even apply because of something I said in a YouTube chat. Mm.
Sugar Crits, a little Ortho 7? No, man, it should look like you're sandblasting that bitch with it. Just fucking giant cloud of white smoke, and she comes walking out of it, waving her hands and coughing. Lice and fucking fleas are jumping out of her hair. Help me.
Fuck no. I think we just shrivel her up for real with some DE.
Fuck your spectacles, lady.
Throw some desiccant on that shit.
I mean, that may be the first time I've ever heard diatomaceous earth used as an insult in that way. Good job. That's a new one.
Oh.
It does kill the shit out of exoskeletal insects, though, so it would probably work.
Yep.
Hey, bedtime.
You're the man, bedtime clown.
Oh my god, that picture.
And Voodoo Queen is the lady.
Speaking of take no shit people.
What, Voodoo Queen?
Yeah, those two. don't like bedtime clowns laid back and sort of seemingly unexcitable demeanor.
He is savage when he wants to be. And Voodoo Queen, she's a spirited lady.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh. Yeah, I gotta go to work tomorrow. And it's after 8:00. I probably ought to shut. I'm thinking out loud now. What am I doing? I appreciate you coming up here and chatting with me.
No worries.
What a roller coaster the past month has been for me.
I bet. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this is for my son. This is for my son so he can take care of himself. And what's more, my husband would want him to have it.
And I cannot fucking imagine suggesting that you uproot a kid with disabilities from the home that he knows after a loss like that, instead of asking a few people for help that they freely and happily give. What the fuck is wrong with that bitch?
Yeah. And I mean, we're not talking about, I mean, and I realize my son is, his age is an adult, but he really isn't. I've never made any bones about that, you know? I just haven't taught him that the world owed him everything. You understand?
Oh yeah.
So, you know, your adult son. I'm like, yeah, well, you act like he's an adult in a way you mean adult. Fuck off. I know one thing, my son would never talk to me the way Connie talks to his mother. Holy fucking shit.
No. If I had ever spoken to anyone who was senior to me and my family the way that boy does, I would literally have had my jaw wired shut for a few months.
Yeah. Lost some teeth.
He did that anyway, it sounds like.
The way he was screaming at her that day. Oh my God.
Yeah, and then he comes back and he goes, "It was all a skit. It was all a skit."
Yep.
And I'll bet he's live crying right now. Look at her. She got $1,600 and I can't even get some bud. Right? Because we don't care about you, Connie. We just don't care. Here's the thing, Connie. You're mildly entertaining when you spurg occasionally. If there's nothing else on, people tune into your channel to listen to you be silent, and the pop noise, as you know, your screen recorder records every comment in your chat, 98% of which is you or your Nightbot. But we don't care about you. Nobody likes you. Nobody hopes the best for you. Nobody is willing to continue to fund your bullshit. We like Liz. We're happy to hop up here and chat with Liz. We're concerned with her. We care about her life and where she goes and her well being. See, we want the opposite of Liz freaking out, because if that happened, it would mean she's in pain. When you freak out, it means you're in pain, and it doesn't bother us. You should think about that and think about why. Because you came in here fairly neutral. You came in here and people tried to like you and help you, and people tried to be your friend, and they tried to like help atone for what you went through, thinking it had been unfair the way you were treated. But over the past 3.5 years, you've shown us why you were treated in that blog the way you were, because it's your core nature. You are the animal that nobody will let out of the trap because you're immediately going to run back and bite them. So consider that if it can penetrate your fucking brain at this point, and consider what kind of person you want to be for the rest of your life. Because dude, you're only 34. You're only 34. Take it from somebody who is 20 years older than you are. You have a lot of living ahead of you, a hell of a lot of living. And it is entirely up to you how that goes for you. Not up to anybody else, just you.
And
Do
to
you want to
think,
be the kind of person in 10 years that where Liz is, where if you ask for help because you need it, you get it? Or do you just want to do what you're doing for the rest of your life, living in a rotten Section 8 apartment that still has primer on the walls and you're spitting cigarette butts on the floor on some form of social media, yelling at people and begging for money? It's up to you. Sorry, I didn't know that was in there. I apologize.
was a little more than 1600. It was more like 1855, I think.
Wow. You were like, I'm at like 11 or whatever. And then you were like, stop, stop, stop. I guess you didn't yell stop
Well,
fast enough.
I got a couple of more donations late. And it was so yeah, I got a couple of more donations late. And it's just like, oh well, goes to the landlord.
And dude, everybody that gave to you knew why they were giving and knew what it was going to. So and people are still trying. I was getting DMs last night and this morning going, hey, can you link me to her Cash App? And I said I would go talk to her because she said stop. So I'm not going to hand it out. I don't know if anybody contacted you or not, but
Oh no. Well, that's because I was just trying to stay in my place, not fleece people.
yeah, I get it. But you know, getting paid ahead helps too.
Which is why I didn't send it back.
Oh no, you said that anything you got up to and over what you were asking for would be applied to that. So, you know, it
Yeah.
makes I
Yeah.
don't think anybody can
I
reasonably
wouldn't.
have an issue with that.
Well, and I didn't want there to be any questions of where it went. I didn't want it to say that I was going to put some towards this bill and then this towards the rent and no, just keep it simple, stupid.
Roz, this is going to happen to Connie. Sooner or later, it's going to happen to Connie. And if he keeps doing what he's doing, he'll be here on YouTube crying about it. And I won't take the opportunity. Well, I can't say I won't. I can say I'd like to think I wouldn't take the opportunity to take a big, hot, steaming dump on his head, but others sure will. And he'll have earned every bit of it for the way he's treated other people when they've gone through tragedy.
You know, that's kind of what I think. I probably should have projected my emotions more towards him and what he was expressing because it was just his entitlement and utter lack of gratitude on display. And just, he's just all that entitlement on display.
No, he's gotten everything he's ever asked for. He's gotten everything he ever wanted. They gave them money they weren't even owed to get them the fuck out of the house. Then somebody showed up, the Communist Club of fucking Massachusetts showed up to get his furniture out of hock when they didn't have to because they never paid the damn bill. And then they bought him a Thanksgiving dinner, and he's crying now that 7 years later they're not still buying them Thanksgiving dinners. He's gotten everything he's ever needed in his life. The kid's sitting there saying he's destitute, he's broke, he's the poorest people in Massachusetts, but he's sitting there playing on a goddamn PS3 all day long. I don't know too many actual broke people who have PS3s and the ability to play it online.
just to put it to you bluntly, and I know you won't get it, Rebel, because you can't understand this type of emotion. But learning to breathe in a frightening new world. My He was my husband, and I've had to learn, just stupid shit like locking the door at night. All those little bitty things that you don't even take into consideration. Yeah, and he's worried about Bud and annoyed that McDonald's caught on fire.
Oh my God. Look, I grew up without much money. Um, like we didn't have much money when I was growing up. We planted gardens. I spent a month every fall helping can vegetables and fruit and shit so that we'd have food over the winter. We raised chickens and sheep so that we would have food. Like he has no idea what it's like to be fucking poor or to know that if you don't go out and weed the garden, you may not eat for a month. Jesus Christ. Oh, I get McDonald's every day, but I'm broke. You're not broke. If you can afford McDonald's every day, you're the furthest thing from broke.
Raz isn't wrong. No medical debt, gets his teeth fixed for free, eats for free, lives for free, and gets high for free. I still can't get over him nudging his mother into credit card debt.
Imagine that. Imagine overdrawing your fucking debit credit card so that you could buy weed so your kid won't run around punching holes in the walls. And by kid, I mean 34-year-old. I mean, I'm not saying I'm one of those they turn 18, they're out the door people. I get that, but if you're living with me after you're a certain age, you're going to be working or going to school full time. Those are your two choices, and you're going to be pulling your weight around the house at the same time.
Yep, I totally agree. And I really don't think that there's any shame in that. With the way in when the last big recession and then COVID later on, I think it really changed a lot of family dynamics. That you do tend to see more blended families or multi generational families than you did in the past. Claiming she was charged $1,000 in interest. Well, gee, Rebel, maybe if your mother wasn't drawing out cash on your credit card. Wow. My brain was pretty much fried when that all came out. Nah, Richard Cheese.
She wasn't
Well,
charged $1,000 in interest. She got a fucking bill because there wasn't that much of in her account. It was an overdraft, not interest. Come on. But even so, imagine racking up $1,000 in overdraft fees for weed.
yeah. Probably overdraft fees and he doesn't know the.
And I'll bet if he would just get his butt to therapy and get on a medication regimen, which would be entirely covered by Mass Health, by the way, he wouldn't need the weed. I'm pretty sure he's self-medicating. And no, Rebel, I'm not a doctor. I've just known a lot of fucked up people, so I'm having an opinion. I'm not diagnosing you.
Especially when somebody's actually more paranoid on the weed.
Nerd, she may have one of those Visa check credit cards that acts like that's tied to a bank account that acts like a credit card, but you can pull cash out of a Mac machine or whatever, and it may have a cash advance on it. Some of them do.
You know, nothing makes me happier when he's high as fuck and miserable.
Oh, now Hippie's going to do a whole post about that.
Oh, well. That he
Salty
screamed
old
and
bitch.
screamed and screamed and got his weed, and now he's high, but he's still miserable. He's still salty.
Well, yeah, because he can't even enjoy the high, right? As soon as he lights that first one, he's already worrying about where he's going to get more when he runs out. You know that's what's happening.
Yep.
He's like that alcoholic that knows that he drinks a half a case a night or whatever, and he just pulled the 13th beer out of his case, and he knows he's going to be out and has to get more tomorrow.
Yep.
Michelle, I couldn't even have imagined asking my mom to pay for smokes when I was younger and smoked, and she smoked too. She absolutely would not have. She would have been like, that is luxury. You want that? Work harder. Get a job. Go deliver papers. Go shovel snow. Go mow people's lawns. There's always stuff you can do. You can always do something. I can go to your apartment complex front office and the condo and say, hey, I'm here all day. What do you need done? Let me know in the morning. I'll go out and do it. We'll work something out. I mean, for all I don't like 303, he did manage to put a roof over his family's head for months by taking care of odd jobs around the fucking motel.
Today he was bitching about buying an ounce that he didn't like again.
Yeah, I heard part of that. I really like the Gorilla Glue better than the sour diesel, but I got this. Like, dude, I'm not a stoner. I have not dabbled in weed at all. But is it really that different? Doesn't it just all get you high? Am I mistaken about this? Isn't a little beggar and choosery to sit around complaining about it's not the flavor you want?
Well, I can tell you from experience that a strain like Gorilla Glue is going to lean more towards of an indica type body high, whereas a sour diesel, it tends to be more sativa and probably makes somebody like Connie anxious.
Okay. See, you've now said a lot of words.
Energizing.
Okay.
Coffee on steroids.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like your morning wake up shower versus your evening go to sleep shower. I get it.
Instead of a morning cup, a morning bowl.
Okay. That's why. Okay. So that's why I see some people say this is for sleeping and this is for getting shit done around the house. Got it.
That's correct. Yeah.
I mean, it amazes me when he's sitting there and he's going, yeah. And I still remember the one time when he said he was out of weed. I'm out of weed. I'm out of weed. Out of weed. And you could hear him going through the containers that he still had weed in. And then like later he admitted that he still had like 3 different kinds that he just didn't like, that had been in the back of a drawer or something that he'd kept around. That's the thing. He has gone from stoner into furtive junkie attitude about it. You know he's got shit stashed around the house, and he's saying he's out to try and get more before he uses what he has.
Yeah.
Okay. You can fucking go. I already popped it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I already got it.
Who is that? Christ.
The only other person I've ever seen be like Rebel is about weed is Joe Cool. remember when Sweet went into the hospital at one point and Joe couldn't get weed money out of her and he was a raging dickhead for 3 days because he wasn't high.
Yeah, well, even he didn't grift for it.
No, he didn't. He was the normally cool and calm and collected Joe Cool was fucking screaming at people.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
holy
I
shit.
remember that. I do remember that incident. When he couldn't get any weed. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm sure he's angry enough to be firing up his fucking sock accounts now.
And see, being a medical user, I know sativa is what is best for me because I tend to be towards melancholy and I need to be perked the fuck up.
Well, I mean, if it works for you, good. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm glad to see there's like huge steps forward now that it's legal for medical research. They're finding a lot of stuff that it does, and they can actually research it instead of going off of, this kind of thing where people get together and talk about it.
Anecdotal and evidence.
They
Yeah.
can actually do research on it. And like, if you look at the side effects of weed and the side effects of a lot of the other shit that they're giving people, weed is the clear choice. Side effects of weed include possible weight gain from munchies and driving really, really slow on the right lane with your flashers on. Side effects of the other shit are, you read it, it's like heart palpitations, fungus, fever, death, spontaneous explosion, limbs falling off, you know. So I get it. I also see they've been working with, there's 2 other things they're working with, hallucinogenic microdosing now too, to help with people who have anxiety. It's like hallucinogenic along with a guided meditation program that seems to be working. I keep seeing ads for that. So it's nice that they're finally getting around to looking at stuff that's not pure pharmaceutical invention. I'm glad for that, but I don't think it's helping him.
It's not for everybody. For instance, my daughter's response to it was very bad. It made her very paranoid. She has schizophrenia, but so I'm not surprised.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't take something that metabolizes a certain way in normally wired people and expect it to do the same thing in people who aren't wired right. I mean, there's a reason Ritalin works for people with ADD and is just plain old speed for people who don't have it.
But I mean, you were mentioning, how I can be even coldly analytical at times. Somehow I think my ability to do that kept me from that whole paranoia and out of touch with reality that fell on my daughter. Just my clinging to hard, cold logic and reality. Just
Right.
it just didn't keep me from being depressed about it. But here in Texas, they finally found a way around the law. It's expensive, it's overpriced. I wouldn't pay for it. But for people that want to, you can do it.
Is it deltas that aren't technically
No,
classified as weed?
no.
No.
It's dispensary weed called something else.
Ah, got it. Well, I mean, our governor, Governor Shapiro is finally pushing for it. He's like, it's time to decriminalize this shit. We're wasting an insane amount of money busting people for minor possession offenses and for sitting in their living rooms getting high. Stoners really are not doing much. They might drive slowly and they might sit in the park and play drums and listen to Fish a lot. But really, as far as drugs go, that's not a huge crime issue.
My daughter is considered the model patient. She is considered the model compliant patient. Uh, my daughter found something else she wanted more than she wanted to be mired in her illness. And she didn't stop until she found a way to make that happen. Yeah, his paranoia is heightened.
What's going to? I think the walls are closing in around him. I think it has finally sunk in on him after what 7 or 8 years of this shit. I think it's finally centered in his brain, even if he doesn't want to admit it. He knows that unless he does something about it, it's never going to change. And he doesn't want that responsibility. I don't think Rebel has taken responsibility for a single thing in his own life since his mom pulled him out of the school where the mean guys were beating him up every day and put him in a special school where he could pretend he was the big swinging dick on campus. I don't think he's taken responsibility a day since then. Whenever he tells those stories of how he'd walk into class and smack the white kid in the back of the head and they wouldn't do anything about it, he's telling that from the perspective of whoever was doing it to him. He was the kid in the back of the class that got smacked in the back of the head every time the other kids walked into class. And his little fucking 5'6", 112 pounds, soaking wet in motor oil ass never stood up to him and never said a goddamn word. They probably pulled him out of that school and into a special school because he was really seriously about to get his ass kicked because he's too dumb to fucking act like a normal human being.
My daughter is the exception and not the rule. Like I said, she wanted to be a mom more than she wanted to be anything else in the world. And at the time, I really didn't give her enough credit for that. She knew what she was about more than I did because it really did turn out to be the making of her.
Yeah, and I mean, good for her. That's amazing that she could do that. I am not gonna think that Rebel should have a kid just to See if he loves it more than he loves his current life. Don't do the
No,
rule.
no. That would require an element of unselfishness on his part.
Yeah, I don't think he understands how to not be selfish. I mean, hell, just the fact that he makes his mom sit there down the hall and turn her TV up so she, can try and watch it over his ranting and screaming tells me he's selfish.
Yeah. You definitely wouldn't recommend him getting a cat.
Didn't you say the other day he wants to get a puppy?
I was just like, God.
It's like, dude, you can't feed a puppy McDonald's and fucking weed, bro. Don't get a puppy.
Well, I basically went live to put up my proof. And now it's almost 9:00. I've got to go to bed.
I think you did well. Yeah, it's almost 10. I got to get off anyway.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me up, Liz. And if you need anything else, just ask.
All right.
Have a good one. Bye, everybody.
You too. Oh, thanks to Corrosive for coming up and sitting here with me. And I wanted to thank everybody for coming to my stream tonight. And once again, thanks to everybody that offered to help. I can't say enough about this community. I have felt so much care and love and support over the past month, and I would have been utterly lost without all of it. And you have my thanks. Good night.